If you want a modern house, buy a modern house. Stop ruining all the pretty ones. I want to live somewhere cool someday.
It's been 1 year since I bought my dream home and renovated it.
I think this is another case of millennials feeling the need
to live
turn
in a
every
hospital
room in the
room.
house into a
But it just
white
gets so
hospital
much
room.
worse
I don't think
than
I'll
this
ever not make a
poor
video.
I'm either about to do something really
This one in
dumb or
specific
really
rubbed me
brilliant.
the wrong
All of
way,
this
because
Why
was a
25 is
beautiful
original
home
to our
before they changed everything.
There seems to be a growing discontentment over how people are choosing to refurbish their homes. The growing consensus is that many people are over the modern farmhouse grey aesthetic in favour of period features, unique detail and colour. So much has this dislike festered.
My name is Fester. It means to rot.
That there is now an overarching stereotype that millennials ruin older homes, stripping them of every inch of their character and turning them into a sea of grey, like something straight out of a horror movie. Well, while I'm not going to attempt to fact-check this, I am going to be looking at some transformations myself today, discussing the controversy that this staircase sparked and giving my take on these ruined refurbishments, whilst also keeping in mind that these people have every right to design their home exactly as they please, but also acknowledging the impact that this is having on the blueprint of architecture in our world today. This video isn't about criticism, it's about taste, and I understand we're all different, but I just wanted to make a video where we could talk about it and possibly be quietly horrified. Such is the risk of putting your home renovations online for the world to see. I should know. Okay, let's start with some overall house transformations. So all of these videos I've simply compiled together by simply searching old home or period home renovations, sometimes millennial renovations, and I've tried my best not to watch too many of the videos so that we can react to them blindly together. So let's start by taking a look at that pink house that we saw a moment ago. So I do know that this house has always been known as the pink house by the locals historically. Okay, oh, we have painted it grey. That's a choice. It's a shame if it's always been known as the pink house. And inside we've got vintage architecture and colour, which has been removed in favour of open plan, sort of sleek design. The floor seems to have gone there. And that's a 200-year-old stove, which has gone in favour of a lot of white marble. And it used to be a speakeasy during Prohibition, and it's now a vast space of white. I can't lie, that's a bit of a rough start for me because my goodness me, what a beautiful home. It reminds me of the Pink Palace from Coraline. It actually matches my outfit today. And the fact that it's been changed to something that, in my mind, looks quite almost clinical. You know, you wouldn't be surprised if you went into a waiting room and it looked like that. It's very crisp and clean. And I do feel that the choices that the homeowners have made, whether it's the new owners or whether this has been given what many people on the internet are calling the landlord special so that it could be resold and, you know, bump up the resale value, whatever the reason, it has been, the history has been stripped away in my mind. And the character of such a charming property has basically been erased down to the fact that it's gone from a pink house, which is so iconic, to a grey house. And then when you enter, all of those lovely architectural details and the colour and the vintage charm has gone in favour of something a lot more white. I also can't get on board with the fact that they've removed all of the original flooring. That pains my very soul. But also that speakeasy in the basement. I'm struggling to understand why that wasn't lovingly converted into a bar area. Like, imagine in being invited over to a friend's house and you're all socialising in the basement that used to be a speakeasy. I would think that was the coolest thing in the world. But instead, the space has become so nondescript that it's almost soulless. Like, you would never know what that space used to be. And that's kind of disappointing. The way that I secretly pray that one day I will find a home that still has an original cast iron stove in place. Oh my goodness, it would excite me so much to get that going again. And just to rip it away, like, you had that. You I just can't help but think that a house like that was wasted on the people that decided to refurbish it. And I'm sorry if that sounds cruel, but if you want a modern house, buy a modern house. Use it as a blank canvas and give it your own personal touch and flair. If you can argue this has any flair. But I think leave the period homes to people who appreciate period charms. But that's probably not possible. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so we've got a Tudor revival sort of mansion. I think this is from 1928. Love the interior. That's got, such a story to tell, such rich oak. I enjoy that. Nice outside space. Oh. Oh my goodness, no. Oh, no. Oh, it's the same in every room. Oh, it's exactly the same. What's the point? I would get lost in that house now because every room I'd walk into, I'd think, have I just been here? Or is this where I'm going? Because it all looks the same. Dita Fontees lives in a Tudor revival mansion from the 1920s, I believe, and I imagine that would hurt her heart as much as it's hurt mine today. And painting it white again, I mean, why do we have such an urge to paint everything white? I have nothing against white paint, but, not everywhere. Oh, what a sweet looking couple. Okay, what have they done? Oh, okay. I see, it's going so fast. I see a lot of period features that I enjoy. I think I saw a little bit of stained glass there, some original tiling maybe, a lovely front door. There's certainly things in that home that I would probably want to keep. Yes, in general, the home does look a bit dated and in need of much needed TLC, but there's definitely things in there that I would enjoy celebrating again. Okay, let's see what they've done to the place. Okay. It's not my taste, and it is definitely echoing the kind of aesthetic that I'm seeing crop up more and more and more with newer, younger homeowners these days. But you can't say that it's not beautifully done. I particularly enjoyed that kind of sage green panelling that they had in their kitchen, I think it was. And I love that. I really do. For example, my boyfriend's mum, I think her house is from the 70s or 80s. I can't quite remember. But she added a wood panelling effect to the hallway as you enter the property. And it really does bring the space to life and give it a bit of character and storytelling. So I really like that. In general, though, it's just not, it just sort of doesn't scream any, it doesn't capture my attention. I was going to say it has no originality, but that's just, I don't think that's the right thing to say, but it certainly doesn't capture my attention when I first walk into a home. Some homes are just desperate for renovation. I completely understand that. Not everything can be saved. There wasn't a lot to that house that was giving, charm and storytelling and history. I'd have definitely kept the front door, but I think that goes without saying. And again, we can't deny there is a lot of grey. This lovely couple is kind of playing into that grey crushed velvet trope that we sometimes see with millennials. It's a lot of grey on black, black on grey. And it just doesn't ignite anything within me. Okay, let's move on.
Controversial, but a lot of people were obsessed with these original features in the 1930s home I purchased, including these original floor tiles and glass-stained doors. Sorry to disappoint, but I personally think these glass-stained doors look better in the skip. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my decision, or would you have kept them? I really don't think they match the interiors I have planned for the rest of the house, so they had to go.
Oh, that one really hurt. Oh, that one really hurt. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So again, the overall vision is something that I'm seeing time and time again. It really does, it bores me a little bit. But you know what? Who am I? It's her vision. And if she wants to design her home that way, then fine. But for goodness sake, those tiles and the original stained glass, to just chuck it in the skip is heartbreaking. And I know what some people will say. Original stained glass cannot always be kept because single glazed windows are not very efficient, for retaining heat in your home. But here's what we did. So we had original stained glass in our home and we loved it so much, but we knew it wasn't very good or energy efficient for heating our home. So they were removed. But what we did was we had the exact same design recreated, but double glazed. It cost a lot more, and some people don't have the choice to do that, and I understand that. But we had that done. But what we did with the original stained glass is we got it framed, and now one of them hangs over our sash window as like a decorative piece, and the other spruces up our bathroom window. And that means that the beauty of this stained glass and the craftsmanship can continue to be enjoyed, but we are still making smart decisions for our home. And that takes a lot of effort, I understand. But just to chuck them in the skip, not even to sell them, I don't know, but oh goodness, they've stood the test of time, those beautiful ornate touches, and just to be so callous and throw them away, I don't know. Can't get on board with that. And those tiles. Oh, you know, the joy that would have lit up in my soul if we'd have walked into this house and seen the original tiles in the kitchen. I'd have been reduced to actual tears, but they have gone as well. Okay. Oh, we've got some original, is that parquet floor? I love parquet floor, but that flooring is beautiful. What's going to happen to that? Oh, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone in favour of marble and white and things that float. Maybe it's still there underneath. You know, maybe it's still lurking about underneath for it to be rediscovered one day. Maybe it's been left untouched and they've just put laminate over it. We can only dream. Wow. Ooh, that's screaming the 80s, isn't it? There's a lot going on there. Clearly that. Oh, wow, gosh. Okay. Well, oh, look at that door. Oh, look at that door. Huh, kitchen's quite quirky as well. It's a beautiful home. That could make a beautiful family home. We've gone open plan. Okay, big skylight, is that going to be? Yes. Okie dokie. Yeah, it looks kind of like a bougie hotel or Airbnb that you would stay in. And the little pieces of period charm that tells that house's story that they could have kept, they clearly didn't want to keep. Their aesthetic is obviously very modern and chic, and that's a shame because there were some lovely little elements there that I certainly would have enjoyed keeping, but it's not their taste. And again, the aesthetic that they went for isn't something that floats my boat, but each to their own. Oh wow, another Tudor revival. Okay. Oh, we've moved on. Okay, so again, very 80s sort of home. Oh, that flooring. Oh, I do like the flooring though. Those tiles look linoleum. Oh! Flooring's gone. The tiles didn't look like real tiles. They look like linoleum. You know, linoleum does kind of crumble with time, so I understand that. But that original flooring would have looked nice with what they ended up doing as well, I think. I know there's a lot of grey on grey and white on grey and black on grey, but you know, a deep mahogany floor with a grey backdrop, I think would have looked really nice. So I don't know why they didn't keep that, but instead they went for the, I'm seeing this so much in particularly Millennial Refurbishments, that kind of beachy toned laminate flooring where it's like almost white, but it's kind of a sandy white. That I'm seeing so much. Yeah, I think it would have looked better with a darker floor just to give a bit more of a contrast, but I'm not an interior designer, what do I know? And it's very open plan again, which, you know, we've seen a lot. The wood panelling's nice though. Oh, okay. Oh, lots of character to work with. Oh, I like the kitchen with the brick thing with the... Okay. Honestly, I don't mean to be cruel, but you could plot me in any of these homes, and I don't think I'd be able to tell the difference between each one because they all are coming out exactly the same as the last. Is that just me that thinks that? I think I'd be like, it's like a hall of mirrors. Just the same thing over and over again. Of course, there are beautiful personal touches. I mean, that rosy pink, again, matches my outfit in the bedroom. Oh, that's very bougie. It's a little bit 50s. It's giving to me retro futurism. I like that a lot. So I'd probably be able to tell from that bedroom which house I was in. But overall, it's a little bit copy and paste. Just a little. I like the chandelier in the bedroom, though. Did some of that hurt my soul? Yes. Do I have the right to judge any of these homeowners? Of course not. But do I also kind of sort of wish that we'd stop selling white paint to millennials? Yeah. The thing is, white, grey and beige, they're not inherently bad colours. And they can create a real calming elegance and a chicness. And I'm going to be the first to admit, some of those rooms were definitely crying out for some much needed renovation and TLC. You know, some of them were past the point of no return. You know, they were too far gone. But will I ever get on board with people just spray painting bricks white? I don't know. I guess it depends on what the overall vision is. But one thing that I don't think I'll ever get on board with is the removal of character that is unique and, more importantly, it's rare. Thus, we move on to the spiral staircase controversy. And this lady's renovation had the internet utterly divided. And she addressed that. So let's watch.
Let's talk about these stairs. Y'all are absolutely hating the fact that we took these stairs out. Don't get me wrong, they were absolutely gorgeous. But honestly, just not ideal. To get to the kitchen, you either had to go through the living room, and y'all, I can't wait for y'all to see the after, or you had to walk under the staircase. Donnie's 6'2", and it's just not ideal to walk under to get to the kitchen. If this wasn't going to be our primary residence, then I'd see no issue just leaving them. But we're so excited to make this our dream home and host so many family events. So it just made sense to us to take the stairs out so they weren't the first thing that you seen when you walked out the kitchen. I am going to give y'all a little sneak peek at the end of the video, so make sure y'all stay with me. But even through every single door that you come through, the stairs were the focal point and block the beautiful view into the backyard. So it just made sense to me that they needed to be taken out. I think that this is just so much more family friendly. But y'all's comments are literally giving me nightmares. But that's okay. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. But I'm going to circle back that this is our dream house and we're just trying to make it as homey as possible. We even opened up the case opening to the kitchen more. And y'all got us. We are going for the modern farmhouse look. But hope y'all still follow along for the journey. And here's a sneak peek at the new stairs. Bye.
For a hot second, I didn't even recognise that as the same room because those stairs were such an integral part of that room. I can see why this had the internet divided. I mean, who, if you're like me or potentially like you, who hasn't dreamed their little dream as kids to have something as whimsical as a spiral staircase? To be able to have something like that at your disposal. I mean, imagine it at Christmas or Halloween. Imagine socialising and standing at the top of your spiral staircase in your gown and floating down to the bottom to greet your guests. Okay, it's a little bit fantastical, but to have that at your disposal and just rip it out in favour of a modern farmhouse look, which we're seeing over and over and over again, we can't deny. I can see why this broke many people's hearts. But you know, the lady said it wasn't ideal. You know, her husband's very tall. She's got kids running around. She wants to open the space up, be very open plan, and the stairs weren't ideal. The choice that's been made instead of those stairs is a bit underwhelming, but it's her house. I do love the house in general, though. All of that wood, mahogany grandeur that is happening in that home. There's so much to work with there, and it looks like a pretty big property. So hopefully other areas can be left somewhat untouched, so it can still be celebrated for what that house originally was intended to be. But I can see why the stairs caused a bit of controversy. And there's another video about the stairs as well, so let's watch that because the comments, they were commenting.
Welcome back to day 2. Demo process is almost over, so let's take a walkthrough. This is going to be mine and Donnie's office. And yes, we removed the spiral staircase. I can't wait for y'all to see our vision there. This is going to be our formal dining. Y'all didn't ask for a walkthrough, but if y'all are going to come on this journey with us, I thought this was the best way to do it. No one told me that renovation is actually so much harder than actually building a home, but I'm actually starting to be able to vision everything coming together. We took out a bathroom right there to open up the kitchen fully with a cute little breakfast nook right there, and then I can't wait to have my coffee bar in that little nook right there. Next, we actually took out another staircase right here to make a huge walk-in pantry. It's going to be the pantry of my dreams. I cannot wait. And then this was the master bath that we actually took out to make a little half bath for guests. It's truly crazy walking through everything and like seeing everything coming together. Yes, that was a deep breath because this has been stressful. Our vision here, hopefully we're able to do it, is to turn this into a huge walk-in laundry room, but we're not 100% sure if it's doable yet. And you'll have to come back for part 2 for the master bedroom and the huge master bath.
I mean, bless her. That lady seems so very sweet, and she's clearly got a really exciting vision in mind for her forever home. And who am I to dampen that? I did see some very interesting looking tiles in, I think what she said was going to be one of the bathrooms. They were like a yellow design. I found those very interesting, but it does look like this is a start from scratch sort of project. And she's right when she says renovation is incredibly difficult versus, just building your house from scratch. But building your house from scratch is another financial investment that many people simply cannot do. And it might be that these modern farmhouse souls or modern souls would build their own house if they could and have it exactly as they wanted to, but they simply can't. And all they've got at their disposal is finding a home that they can afford. And then what are you going to do if you move into a home that you've put all that time and money and investment in? You're going to make it yours, aren't you? So I understand that sometimes it's a necessity for people to be able to take an older house and transform it, because building your own home isn't always the case. And, modern houses, we've got new builds here in the UK. I'm sure there's similar things in America. They might be out of people's price points, whereas older homes, depending on their condition, tend to be a bit cheaper. That's certainly what I'm banking on. But it doesn't come with a contract that says that you have to keep certain features unless it was like a grade 2 listed building, or at least that's the case here in the UK. There are some buildings in the UK that you cannot change some of the features if they are grade 2 listed, which I'm kind of all for. But she has the dream of her pantry, which sounds amazing, a big pantry and a little coffee nook. And I'm sure it's going to be beautiful and very much to her and her family's taste, as it should be. I guess where the fear comes from for me is that will there be any of this left when I move on from this beautiful little house and move in with Jack and we start our dream life together? Will there be any homes left that are completely untouched, that we can inject our own love into and celebrate them as we want to? I did a video for gold and silver members where I outlined what my dream house would look like, and I gave real life examples of houses that were recently for sale or are on the market right now, and they're rare. It's rare. You tend to find, or for me, that the real, if I could cherry pick, the real sweet spot are homes where maybe an elderly couple have lived there. So it's a bit dated and it's in need of refurbishment, but everything is still in its place as the day the house was built. So we can decide exactly what we keep and anything that might not be keepable anymore, which I know isn't a word. And that's where the fear for me comes from. Will there be any of these homes left for me to be able to make the choice? And with millennials or anybody else transforming these homes into a much more modern look and stripping all of that originality away, it begs the question that maybe there won't be. I would have absolutely adored a staircase like that. And with the stair runner as well. Oh, the elegance. It really does look like something straight out of a period film. It's got so much history to it. And it looks to me like they really are stripping this house back in favour of that open plan and modern farmhouse aesthetic. And here's why open plan has never sat right with me personally. I don't think it's entirely natural for a home to consist of a big square, big open plan square with all your furniture kind of dispersed within. Because I think what makes a home feel homey or homier is when you can walk into individual rooms and appreciate their personality and, more importantly, understand their function. And I think to be able to do that, you have to physically walk through something, whether it be an archway or a door or a sliding door or French doors, something that enters you into a new space. For example, when you walk into a kitchen, I would like my kitchen to smell of freshly brewed coffee and baking bread and be a home that feels lived in and social but also calm. You know, that's what I want for my kitchen. And similarly, if you walk into your bedroom, you want that to be a space of rejuvenation. Your bathroom may be an area for self-care. Your living space, you know, a place of quality time of an evening. And if you throw all that into one big space, I think it's harder for the brain to differentiate what each space is for and what its function is, which means it's harder to get into a kind of domestic rhythm because everything's kind of open and everything's on view. You know, you don't have to find anything. You can't really go off to a refuge if you can be seen at any point of the downstairs of your house. I like my privacy. I like to be able to go to somewhere that feels like a nook or feels like a den, that feels separate. I love rooms within rooms. It makes me feel comforted from the noise of the outside world. And it also makes it feel warmer. And I'm a cold person. Not inside, but physically. Like I'm cold now. Like my fingers are, you know, chilly. So I like to feel that a space is warm. Even just, what do they call it? The placebo effect. Of a home looking warm by rich wallpaper or being encased within a room with actual walls, that sometimes makes me feel warmer than if it was all just thrown open. I don't want Elsa's castle from Frozen. I want Howl's Moving Castle from Howl's Moving Castle. Okay, let's move on to some room by room transformations, starting with the bathroom. Now, disclaimer. Although I have always professed my undying love for a colourful bathroom, I do admit that some trends are better left in the past, like a carpeted toilet seat. But let's see what these renovators have to offer in the bathroom. No! No! Oh, that's got such a kind of, I don't know, weirdly Beauty and the Beast kind of charm. That's so unique. Oh, it's in the skip. You know what? I'd somewhat make peace with that if the transformation was worth writing home about. But the fact that it went from, okay, a bathroom with a lot of feminine energy, I admit, you know, it might not be to everyone's taste, but to just a white, plain nothingness kind of bathroom, that just angers me. I mean, it probably wasn't salvageable to sell, so that's why they opted for the skip. But you wouldn't see me ripping something like that out. I don't know what Jack could have to say about it if we lived together. If I carried on living with my mum, that would certainly not be going anywhere, and we would really be living our Lady of the Manor dreams, having a bubble bath with a glass of something nice. Maybe eating chocolates or something. Oh, I just watched it back and noticed it had very interesting windows. I don't know if they were stained glass or made to look like stained glass, if it just had a hanging over the window itself, I'm not sure. But the windows look very interesting. And they've gone as well. I really hope they weren't stained glass because that would hurt me again. Ooh. Again. Not everybody wants a pink bath suite. I appreciate that. I have a friend called Martin who's doing his best to create his forever home as a kind of 1980s bougie paradise. So he's a big fan of kind of like an avocado bath set, and he would love a colourful bathroom, and he's always on the hunt for one. You can actually still get companies that specialise in colourful bathrooms, which I really enjoy. One was actually sent to me recently by someone, I think, on Instagram, and I absolutely loved it. So I might send that to him if he can't find a second-hand one. But yeah, a pink bathroom suite, it's not to everyone's taste. But again, the transformation was so sort of half-hearted. Again, it's that kind of landlord special that I don't really have anything to say about it. Let's watch the next one. Interesting. Oh, wait. Oh, that was the first one was the after, and this is the before. Okay. Okay. We've painted the green tiles black. Let's hold fire here. That's a lovely kind of wood effect we've got going there. Wow, black ceiling. and little dots. And by the looks of it, yeah, by the looks of things, we're keeping the kind of burgundy and yellow tiling, matching black sink. Oh, sorry, gold. Sorry, gold sink. This is interesting. Oh, we are painting over the burgundy? We're not painting over the... Oh, we're just painting the towel rail. Okay. You know what? That isn't a bad transformation, I don't think. That bathroom still has heaps of character. And, you know, those tiles, it was a lot of colour in one space. You know, the green, the yellow, the burgundy. So I understand why they were painted. But, you know, they were painted black, which in itself can be quite an interesting choice. They're not just white tiles, so it's a white toilet on white tiles. It has created an interesting space, and it's very her. And I like that. I would walk into that bathroom and enjoy my time on the toilet seat, because I do think that's got a lot of character still. Lean into the vintage vibes is what she said in the caption. Yep, you've absolutely got my vote there. Now, if there's one thing that I always search for when looking at houses that are currently for sale, which is one of my guilty pleasures, it's a fireplace. Shall we see what people are doing to those?
If you want a modern house, buy a modern house. Stop ruining all the pretty ones. I want to live somewhere cool someday.
110 years old. Can you imagine what that fireplace used to look like? Again, I'm not trying to have something against marble, but I see a lot of marble about the world, you know, in places that I visit, in places that I stay, in friends' houses and things like that. Marble is pretty common. What you don't see is a fireplace from 110 years ago. Can you imagine the ornate detail that it might have had? Because some fireplaces in older buildings are a sight to behold. And I always look for them. And to come in and see that transformation, oh my goodness, it would probably put me off the sale, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, like that. That is what I'm looking for. That exactly. Oh no, they're not removing it, are they? Please don't remove it. No, but why? But why? Are they just cleaning it? Are they just cleaning it? Are you just cleaning it, refurbishing it? Maybe? Oh, they're cleaning it. That's what they're doing. No, they're not. No, they're not. Ooh, that one's difficult because I love a Victorian fireplace. I mean, the fire's gone out now. You know what? I might rectify that. Give me 1 second. My absolute favourite feature of this house, of this room, sorry, is that fireplace. That 1920s cast iron fireplace. It's literally my favourite feature. And, you know, to have it going again, not as it was originally intended. We haven't had the chimney swept. That's not well, it is a real fire, but it's using bioethanol fuel, and it's using a little firebox, so it's not like I'm burning that wood, they are faux logs. But just to have it kind of looking like it would have done all those years ago, it just brings me such joy to have a fireplace like that in my bedroom, of all places. So yeah, that one was rough. Oh, this is a trend that I've been seeing pop up a lot, particularly... Well, it appears to be by millennials, and it's painting over stone, same as painting over bricks. They paint over like limestone and things, usually a white or a grey. And as you can see, they kind of flatten it all down, so it's all sort of... Oh, I don't like the after, because you've lost all the texture there. I mean, there is still a little bit of texture, I suppose, but I don't love that. I think the colour scheme just looks a bit washed out. Again, it's that beachy, sandy kind of white, isn't it? Okay, we've got another one here. An 80s stone fireplace. The 80s, you know, people made some choices. And I understand that not all the choices would be things that people want to keep. And she's trying to give life back into this fireplace. She's not ripping it out, I suppose. That's one thing. The grey's not too bad, actually. That wasn't too bad. I don't know what it was about that grey versus the first. Well, I suppose the first was kind of a white grey, but the second grey, that wasn't so bad. Okay, a really important room for me next, the kitchen. Now, there weren't loads of kitchen renovation videos that particularly piqued my interest, but There were a couple that I think summarise a popular What is wrong with me today? A popular blueprint that homeowners seem to be following. So let's take a look. Oh boy, here we go again. I like those beams. It's very nice. Oh, that was the old kitchen. We're painting it white. Okay, well, it's not incredibly original, but there we go. I like the gold trims on her appliances. Those appliances look very expensive. Very expensive. She's got all her little gadgets and gadgetries to, I'm guessing, make her life easier and offer more convenience. I like a bit of friction sometimes. Oh, but space-saving stuff I do enjoy. I always enjoy a bit of space-saving. And I live in a small house with a small kitchen myself, so I understand that. Yeah, that's okay. You know, it doesn't inspire me greatly, but I can see that it's very tastefully done, and it's got, you know, there's pops of colour there. I don't like the marble island, but I'm not a big fan of kitchen islands anyway. The sink's nice. Ooh, sage green, and is that a parquet? Oh, Wim, what are we doing? Are we getting rid of the green? Are we getting rid of the floor? Are we just tiling? Did she paint the floor just then? Did she sand the floor down? Did she sand that original floor down? Please do not tell me we're going for that beachy white look again for the floor. What are we doing? Oh, it's going to be black. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, now it's just going to look like a kitchen you'd find in IKEA. Yeah, it does. It actually does look like a kitchen you'd find in IKEA. Oh, those floors. I liked it better before. Okay. Lots of wood going on there. It's very 70s, 80s. Again, not to everyone's taste. What are you lovely ladies doing? We're painting it white. And grey. Or black. White, black or grey. There are other colours. Oh, yes, even in the kitchen. I think colourful kitchens are incredibly interesting spaces to be around. They create hominess and, I don't know, they kind of echo kitchens of yesteryear, maybe like your grandmother's kitchen, and I think they make for a more creative space. And that is... Oh, they're cute. And they're being painted over. I suppose, you know, if we look back over history, the kitchen and homemaking in general was a very feminine space. You know, the lady of the house was the one that was sort of in charge of how it ran domestically, historically, you know, traditionally. And potentially the husband would be out winning the bread whilst the lady would be home baking the bread, maybe. So I understand there might be a lot of feminine touches that people simply don't want to keep anymore, but they were really cute tiles. Oh yes, this was a really interesting video to me because I saw this channel. I mean, oh, look at the tiles, the stove, the original front door, the fireplaces, and it's a farmhouse. And I was really intrigued to see what this couple would do with this home. There was so much about it that I absolutely adored. If Jack and I discovered a house like this, yes, I know it looks dilapidated. I know it's in need of modernisation, or my version of modernisation, but we want a project to a degree, and we want to be able to make the choice ourselves. So if we found something like this with outbuildings and original floors, I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness, we would be giddy. So I was really invested in what the couple would do with this space because by the looks of things as well, it comes with a lot of land, which is something that we're really interested in our future. I mean, look at that top attic bedroom with those beams. You can tell how old this farmhouse is by how warped some of the ceiling is, you know, the funny old shapes. Idyllic. That really could be idyllic. And I'd be keeping the stove, that's for sure. And I'd do my damnedest to get it working again. Okay, so I've not seen this one. I just gathered I'd seen the first one. I haven't seen the renovation ones. There's a lot of work happening, but that's probably necessary for a house of this age. I don't know. Are we completely changing it? Are we completely ripping it out and starting it again? Oh, okay. It looks like it's going in the modern farmhouse direction. Oh, wow. Wow. Extensions and everything. Was it not big enough already? Was it not big enough? Clearly not. I mean, who am I? Okay. It's looking like it's going to be a big open plan sort of design. Oh, the attic bedroom. Oh, the floor. Oh, we really have ripped out and started again. Oh, this one really hurts me. This one really hurts me because that would be mine and Jack's dream house. And oh my goodness, all the original doors are gone. Everything's gone. Everything's erased. Erased. Oh, that's really broken my heart. And this is what I mean. I'm not saying that I'm any more deserving of a home like that than this couple because they've clearly worked hard. Well, who knows how they got a house like this, but they've got the house and they deserve to do whatever they want to it. But the way Jack and I would absolutely love to find something like this with that kind of land. And we would have been I think the right word to use is sympathetic. When you are sympathetic to the period features, I mean, look at this. Okay, we have a beam. Thank goodness we have one singular beam. But overall, it looks like this space is going to be very modern. You know, a stone floor in the kitchen. The kitchen's got a bit of colour. It's not the worst thing in the world. Where's that stove gone, though? Couldn't that stove have been kept in the corner or something? Even if you only used it on the last Sunday of every month, just tried to keep it going. You know, just a little nod to the people who used to have the house and its history. I don't know, maybe not. But, you know, the more, it sounds awful, but the more I see these transformations, the less inspired I am. It's even got a basement. They're so lucky. What a house. And I just think it's going to look pretty unrecognisable. It's getting, maybe not the landlord special, but I would certainly say the Airbnb special, this house is. This is the kind of thing that's happening to Airbnbs up and down the country. Kind of gentrified authenticity, where it's got a bit of charm, but it's convenient and efficient. And that's the most important priority. Yeah, that was a rough one to end on. Because I liked that house a lot. And it just doesn't feel like much of anything. Oh, I like the little green trim in that room. That's very nice. The thing is, this isn't just about people online commenting on your home renovation. It's about the changing landscape of architecture.
People are outraged after this millennial homeowner has ruined a 19th century cottage. Check this out. This is a 3-bed property in Bishop Monkton going for 400 grand. And for a bit of context, this is what the surrounding cottages look like. Lovely stone. Some of them even have thatched roofs. Again, very picturesque, well-to-do, lovely little village. But people in the local area are fuming because, as you can see, they've completely painted over all of the brickwork. They've changed the thatched roof. And people are saying the interior is ruined. There's no character, no personality. People are saying, why have they made it all grey? It looks really boring. It's dull. It ruins the whole property. Here we've got the kitchen. The kitchen actually does look alright in my personal opinion. But people are basically saying that all of the life has basically been sucked out of it. All of the previous memories from the previous tenants have all just been completely ruined. But I want to see what you guys think about this, because we are going to see this more and more after, you know, a lot of houses are kind of derelict. A lot of the time, property developers or homeowners themselves will actually redecorate and change everything inside. Now, do you think this is the way that British housing is going to be in the future? Do you think we are still going to see these cute little quaint cottages, or do you think all of them are just going to be changed to be all modern like this? It's actually quite sad to see, but I want to see what you guys think in the comments.
And that, to me, is the scariest story that I could possibly hear this Halloween. Period homes paint a historic picture, and they simply cannot be replicated. And I'm not saying that we should halt progress or that architecture should just stop dead. I'm saying that if there are features worth celebrating, then perhaps progress, true progress, is about finding ways to keep these alive and evolving rather than to just erase them completely. Not even necessarily out of nostalgia, but out of appreciation for the stories they tell. Making space for them in our future, in the same way that they made space for us in their past. Let me know in the comments, what's the most terrifying renovation that you've ever seen? And if I ever decided to branch out and refurbish another period property, would you be interested in joining me for that journey?